Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Kangaroo Court Uncut podcast. My name is Rob Cameron, and with me, Shane Dowling from the Kangaroo Court of Australia. And Shane, a little bit more digging this week behind the scenes in the ongoing issue in the Middle East, but Australia's involvement in it. And again, the money trail seems to come back to support of some of the more influential Australian politicians with monies coming from the Israel lobby.
Yeah, look, foreign interference is something that the government talks about on a regular basis, but they refuse point blank to talk about Israeli foreign interference. And I published an article last year in relation to the Israel lobby here in Australia, um, giving free legal services to Peter Dutton, Bill Shorten, and Tony Abbott. And free legal services can be worth, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, sometimes even into millions of dollars. So pro bono legal advice for politicians is really nothing more than a cash bribe. And the law firm doing it is Arnold Bloch Liebler, based in Melbourne. They got a Sydney office as well. And Mark Liebler and his son Jeremy Liebler are the ones behind it. Jeremy Liebler is the president of the Australian Zionist Federation. So they're very close to the Israel government, and over many years they've been giving pro bono work, free legal advice to various politicians. But the latest one is Senator James Paterson, and it shows up on his asset register for the Senate, where he's getting free legal advice. And I'll just read you out exactly what it says. It says, ongoing legal assistance, courtesy of Arnold Bloch Liebler. Courtesy of them. I wonder what that means. But he doesn't say what it's for. It could be for his own private business interests. We don't know, and we should know. Any federal politician getting pro bono legal advice, we should know exactly what it's for. For example, in relation to Bill Shorten, we knew what it was for. 2014, 2015, he was getting legal advice in relation to the Trade Union Royal Commission. And in 2014, he also received legal advice in relation to rape allegation he was facing back in 2014. And he got that free legal advice from Arnold Bloch Liebler. But that would have been in the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Trade Union Royal Commission and also the rape allegation. So it's not chicken feed, it's big money. And so it's no surprise when you see Bill Shorten speak about Israel. He speaks very highly of them, and he very much takes the Israeli government line. And another example is before the 2025 federal election, Peter Dutton was getting free legal advice off Arnold Bloch Liebler, but he'd never say what for, and we're entitled to know, especially before a federal election, and he was a potential prime minister. We should have known exactly what it was for. Now, there's sorts of issues I raised in the article. There's other federal politicians who we know about who received pro bono work from Arnold Bloch Liebler, Josh Frydenberg, Arthur Sinodinos, Jason Falensky, and a whole heap of Labor and Liberal Party politicians who have travelled to Israel over the years and then come back and start promoting Israel's political position.
Shane, when you're doing the investigation here, the travel money is probably a little bit more difficult to hide, but the legal work, could a politician really hide that away, or would be the risk too high if it was found out through other sources? But I'm thinking those sources would be least likely to be found hiding legal support.
Oh, what do you mean by that? That they could hide it easily? Is that what you're saying?
Well, a little bit more to tuck away. If you're going on travel, it's quite noticeable that you're moving, and you could find out who's paying for that. But legal advice, it could be tucked away behind the scenes, could it not, with some degree of safety, or is it just not worth the risk if it was found out?
Well, that's probably the issue. It's not worth the risk if it was found out. It's interesting. Imagine a law firm here with strong ties to the China and the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party. Imagine if they were giving pro bono legal advice to some of the federal politicians. Everyone across the board would be screaming. Same with Russia. A law firm here with strong ties to the Russian government giving pro bono work to the Australian federal politicians. It just wouldn't be tolerated. But Israel, yeah, they just it's nothing. And that is very disturbing in itself. You know, we got the head of ASIO jumping up and down talking about foreign interference all the time, points the finger at China mostly, but he won't say anything about Israel. So, and I pointed out the list of people who are getting pro bono legal advice from Arnold Bloch Liebler, but you have Angus Taylor, the leader of the Liberal Party. He did a trip to Israel last year, in October last year, but only in September, the month before, the United Nations had made a finding that Israel is committing genocide in Israel. Yet he still went a month later. Didn't even blink, didn't bother him at all. Then you have the Australian Prime Minister inviting the Israeli president to Australia. Now, he was meant to come here to help console the Bondi victims, the families of the Bondi victims, but he ended up meeting with the head of ASIO. Well, what's that got to do with consoling Bondi victims? He's having a secret meeting with the head of ASIO. He should be nowhere near the head of ASIO. And that's the federal government, Anthony Albanese, who invited him and who's allowed this to happen. So you've got all these other issues, which they're not so much pro bono work, but there's certainly favouritism and blatant favouritism at a time when we're spending big dollars on a royal commission on anti-Semitism, which a lot of people are pointing out, and it looks clearly to me is nothing more than a ruse. So they're the sort of things that are going to drive this issue on an ongoing basis for a long time, right up till the next federal election at least. You know, why are these politicians getting pro bono legal advice? Why are they pushing the Israeli propaganda? And the Royal Commission in itself is going to keep this sort of thing in the headline. Arnold Bloch Liebler is getting paid money, millions of dollars, I expect, to represent various parties at the Anti-Semitism Royal Commission.
Shane, just on that, with both major parties involved in this and one nation unlikely to push it, outside of people like yourself in independent media, where's the pressure going to come from on the two major parties on this particular subject, do you feel?
Well, it's going to come from independent media and social media. At the moment, I'm the only one pushing it, but it has been getting traction on social media, and it'll get even more traction leading up to the federal election end of this year when Anti-Semitism Royal Commission hands down findings. I think all those sorts of issues are going to have an impact, and this issue will just keep on growing. At some stage, the federal government's going to have a good look at it and say that federal politicians can't be getting pro bono work off any law firm, because it's nothing more than, as I said before, it can be very costly hiring a lawyer. So if you're getting pro bono work, you're basically getting a cash bribe. And especially when those same politicians at the same time are getting around pushing Israel's propaganda on their behalf. So it makes it very obvious that's what's taken place. Quid pro quo, we'll give you free legal advice, you push our propaganda. So that's where the pressure is going to come from, social media. People say, oh, well, it mightn't work, but it does work. And that's why Labor Party and the Liberal Party and the National Party, and especially the Liberal Party and National Party, are dropping in the polls in a massive way. Another poll out today in New South Wales, Labor, who are in government, have dropped in the polls again, and so are the Liberals. So it is having an impact. People are turning off the old media because they just don't report the truth, and they're getting a lot of their news from social media and independent media.
So it's a very good work you've done. So where do you go next with something like this? Is it a matter of digging away to see if any more politicians are connected, or is it more going the other way, seeing the direction the money's coming from, not so much where is it going to?
It's a bit of both. I won't flag exactly what I plan on doing, but I will keep on digging. And I think people are going to start getting nervous. It's out there. I've put it in the title, Israel bribes Senator James Paterson. You can't keep on pushing that title and they can't do anything. What's James Paterson going to do? Sue for defamation? He's going to have to explain what he's doing, getting pro bono legal advice from a law firm heavily tied to Israel. It just shouldn't be happening. Because it has happened in the past and the media hasn't pushed it hard enough, it's been allowed to continue. Well, that's got to stop. And so they're boxed in. What's Arnold Bloch Liebler going to do? Well, they can't do much because of political communication. This involves a federal politicians. So that's protected under the implied freedom of political communication. I know it. Arnold Bloch Liebler knows it. So it's not much they can do. And they can't leave that title out there or those allegations out there, which are backed up, forever. They're going to have to pull the pin and withdraw and stop bribing federal politicians themselves.
Now, it certainly is of interest, and if you are concerned by the contents of this particular podcast, please share it around as much as possible, because it certainly concerns me and others. And we thank you again, Shane, for your digging, and we look forward to whatever you might dig up before next week's podcast. But keep an eye on the Kangaroo Court of Australia website for more news that Shane will bring forward during the week.
And I'm an independent journalist, and I'm 100% crowdfunded from viewers like yourself. And I've been running a campaign over the last 30 odd weeks to help make sure I can keep on doing the work I'm doing. And I'll read that out to you. 34 weeks ago, I launched a campaign with a simple goal: find 200 new monthly supporters so I can keep doing this work as a fully independent journalist, running this website and YouTube channel and podcast now without corporate backing or paywalls. Since then, 197 wonderful people have stepped up and become monthly supporters. That's huge. Thank you. We're now at 3 to go. If you've been enjoying the work and aren't yet supporting monthly, I'd be incredibly grateful if you consider joining them. Here's the situation. Like most independent journalists, I'm basically a one-person small business. Right now, a lot of us are feeling the squeeze, just like many small businesses and households are. To stay afloat and keep bringing you the reporting I do, I need roughly 200 more people, well, 3 now, shipping in whatever they can comfortably afford each month. Anything from $3 to $100 or whatever works for your budget makes a real difference. There's no lock-in. You can cancel or adjust at any time. If that feels doable right now, you can see all the donation options on the donations page on my website. And I'll put a link to the donations page below this video on YouTube. Your support, whether it's a monthly donation or one-off donation, or just sharing my work, what helps keep independent voices like this one alive. And please do your bit and help shine a light on corruption and share this video on social media. And please hit the like and subscribe button and notification button on YouTube. That way you get notified when I publish new videos. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.